Today's podcast is brought to you by a company who we have been using for years and takes up significant shelf space inside of our own kitchen. Biosteel Sports Nutrition.
It was a product created out of necessity 8 years ago and is trusted by athletes like Connor McDavid, Tyler Seguin, Brooke Henderson, Rosie MacLennan, and Andrew Wiggins.
They're really a leader in sports drinks for everyone from professional athletes to everyday champions.
Understand something, guys. Nothing worth ever having in this world comes easy.
Do what these champions doing if you're going to be a champion.
You control your outcome.
Who am I?
I'm a champion.
What up, champs, and welcome back to a brand new Biosteel Breakdown. As always, I'm your host, Adrian, with my co-host,
Sylvie.
And we're back, and we're breaking it down. And if you're a longtime listener, thank you as always. If you're new to the program, we do one of these every Friday. Quick little tidbit to get you into the weekend. So, if you're out on Saturday with your friends and it comes up, you can drop the knowledge and let them know what's up, right? And so this week we are going to talk about strength and conditioning, specifically those two things, strength training and conditioning. And this gets brought up all the time, and I get it with my clients. They ask this question all the time, and it's, when should I do my conditioning? Should I run before I lift weights? Should I run after I lift weights? Should I do it on a different day? And for some reason, it's always running. And so we're going to touch on that a little bit as well, but then talk about how you should incorporate strength training and conditioning into a holistic program or a holistic life, I suppose, a holistic training life, right? And I know that you do this all the time, and you post about it regularly.
Yes.
So this is something that you're very familiar with. I think the first thing to note is that it's very, very difficult to get both stronger and better conditioned at the exact same time. It is not, you can do it. It's possible, obviously, but it's not effective compared to separating those two things. And I mean, both in terms of the same workout, but then also in terms of the same season or training goal or purpose. And so they create two different stimuli in our body. So the neurological, hormonal triggers that strength training would elicit, and the triggers that aerobic conditioning, so running, rowing, swimming, whatever the traditional aerobic exercises would trigger, are two completely different things. So it's a different protein response, it's a different glycogen response, it's a different hormone response, right? Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
And in some ways, not completely, but in some ways it's like pushing the gas and the brake at the exact same time in your car. They do different things. And so obviously they can be complementary, but it's important to understand that they're going to cause some conflict. A better suggestion, in my opinion, is to pick one of those things to focus on for a segment, focus on it, and then move on to the next one. And so the good thing is that once you've established a baseline, it's much easier to keep it than it is to establish it. So as soon as I have this baseline level of conditioning, I can keep that with maybe 80% of the work. As soon as I have a baseline level of strength, I can keep that with 80% of the work. So if I've spent a bunch of time and I've spent the last 3 months working on lifting weights and lifting heavy, and I've put on a lot of strength, if I work out 1 or 2 times a week, at that heavy rep range, I will be okay. I'll maintain that strength, or almost all of it, 90%, let's say. And so that's really, really important. So in that way, you can pick which one you want to focus on. And if you're starting off at 0, I would suggest that you start with some baseline conditioning, because having a certain level of conditioning is beneficial to everything in life. It makes strength training easier. Obviously, you recover better in between your strength training sessions, in between your reps, in between your sets, and then also you're just healthier overall. No one wants to walk up a hill and be dying. And so if you have to pick between one or the other to start with some conditioning, get a base level, and then we can turn and look at more strength and power. So now that we've established that, and we obviously want to have some aspect of both going on, it's important that you choose complementary styles. So traditionally, conditioning has referred to running or biking, but you hate to run?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I hate it.
You're not a huge fan?
Not a huge fan.
Right. And so what are your choices for conditioning? Like, what do you prefer to do?
I like to do strength-based workouts turned into a higher rep, higher intensity.
Right.
quote unquote circuit training session.
Exactly. So there's tons of things you can do. We can do tempo work where you're picking strength training exercises, but you're doing them for a set amount of time, like a 3-0-3 count. We can do high intensity continuous training. So something like uphill lunging for, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, up to 25 minutes, where that's a traditionally strength-based anaerobic exercise that's giving us a conditioning benefit. We can do repeat intervals. We can do plyometric work. There's a lot of things that we can do that will also give us secondary aerobic benefits, but they aren't specifically long, slow distance work. And so in that way, we're picking exercises that give us benefits in both and complement each other, as opposed to going in and doing a squat workout and then jogging on the track slowly for 45 minutes. There's benefits to that, but not in terms of developing one or the other at that time. And then I think also you need to pick what you should focus on based on what your present skill level is. So if you already possess the ability to squat 510 pounds, the effort and energy required to squat 515 pounds is probably not worth it unless that is what you do. You compete in squatting. But you would have to invest so much time and so much energy for an incremental increase at that point in your life that you would be better suited to go and do something else probably. And so maybe it's time to go work on our conditioning. Maybe it's time to go look at a different aspect of your training. Maybe it's time to shift focus a little bit. And so that would be the suggestion. If you are in a situation where you need to work on both of them at the same time, put them on different days. So don't run before, don't run after. Do your strength work on one day, do your conditioning work on a different day. And in that way, you can help mitigate the disturbance effect, essentially, that you're getting between these conflicting stimuli. So if you're looking to have elite conditioning, you probably need to do 4 to 5 times a week. If you want a moderate level, you're just going to maintain it, then I would say 2 to 3 would be good, 3 to 4. And if you're at baseline, you're happy with where you're at right now, you just want to push the strength envelope, then 2 to 3 times, like 20 to 30 minutes. That would be good. So hopefully that cleared some stuff up.
So what about when people are doing them on the same day?
Don't.
Okay.
No. If you are going to do them on the same day, back to back, you mean? Or like?
Yeah. So again, like people think warm up, I have to go run on the treadmill or start with cardio to sweat. Or would you do it afterwards if you do want to get both of them in on the same day? If they had, no other choice, and that's how they're.
I would look at the same thing we talked about, alternative options, right? So I need to do a warm up to sweat. Well, I can do a great like dynamic sprinting style warm up and elevate my heart rate, get a good sweat going. Yeah. And the entire time my heart rate would be up in the exact same zone that I would want to be on the treadmill. But now I haven't diminished my workout. I'm not going to be handicapped for my workout because I haven't depleted my body in that way or created that response. I've been fast, I've been dynamic, and I'm ready to go lift weights still. But that's, if you have to do them both in the same day, then I would definitely stress picking complementary exercises or complementary activity. So instead of going for that run, let's go push the sled for 25 minutes at the end of workout. And that would be my suggestion. If you're looking for someone to offer insight or suggestions on this, I think Joel Jamieson's the very best in the game. So that would be my suggestion. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. Awesome. Guys, thank you as always for being here. Sorry I ranted the entire time. If you have any more questions, let us know. If you want to pick up some of the amazing products that our sponsor has, head over to the website, biosteel.com. Use the code word
Champ Lifestyle, capital C, capital L.
You can grab 15% off, and there's a brand new flavor out now, watermelon.
Do
you like
it? I love it.
All right, there you go. We'll be back next week. Take care, guys.